Weakness and Defensiveness. Chapter 27, Section 5. How does one overcome illusions? Merely by letting reason tell you that they contradict reality. For me, A Course in Miracles involves the mind and the heart. Merely letting reason tell you that they contradict reality. Reason. Is reason different than logic? I tend to think that logic and reason are very intertwined. So, how does one overcome illusions? Which is the sentence this asks, this section of A Course in Miracles. A Course in Miracles is arguably a bit convoluted. A Course in Miracles says the ego does not exist. It says this on page 62. Heaven is here, heaven is now. There is no other time, there is no other place. But how can that be? There's all this war on earth. Well then, by logic, if heaven is here, heaven is now, and if God's will for us is perfect happiness, then the war must fundamentally be an illusion. I am not saying that nations should not defend themselves, should they find themselves in such a circumstance. A Course in Miracles talks about being above the battleground. Being above the battleground. So, certainly, being above the battleground will bring one more joy and happiness than being on the battleground. That seems logical. Miracle Principle 24 says that you can heal the sick and raise the dead because you created sickness and death yourself. Something to that effect. Death is an illusion and life is truth. I think we can use logic and reason to nurture our faith. Things that feel or seem sad can seem to happen, but they are perhaps illusions. In one sense, time is an illusion. Perhaps God perceives all time at once. A Course in Miracles talks about the changelessness. And if all time is happening at once, then nothing is changing. We're simply perceiving one part of God's mind. We can feel or see ourselves as separate. But if we are to see through that illusion, we can use logic and reason to do so. And thinking about that brings me some joy. We are as God created us, and we need do nothing. Perhaps we will use artificial intelligence to heal the sick and raise the dead. Perhaps, if you've seen Torchwood, which was a Doctor Who spin-off, they have super advanced technology. Certain beings live billions of years. If you've seen the movie The Fifth Element, Lilu, there is a scene where they take a hand, which is perhaps a mummified artifact. It's like a metal gauntlet, like a metal piece of armor, like a metal glove. There's probably a better word for that. They take that and they put it in some like resurrection chamber, and they build the rest of the body of this human, which becomes Lilu. In Torchwood, the Doctor Who spinoff sort of has some technology sort of like that, perhaps. I didn't actually see a whole lot of the show, but I do remember it being interesting, where they sort of like merge technology with spirituality. And perhaps we'll realize through logic and reason that technology can be a facet of spirituality. If we view technology through our third eye, through spiritual vision, if we listen to videos or audiobooks with spiritual hearing, perhaps through logic and reason, this can help us to see through illusions. You do not have to interpret A Course in Miracles this way. If you study A Course in Miracles, I hope you use your own logic and reason. I hope you use critical thinking and think for yourself, and don't just let some dogmatic speech persuade you to uncritically interpret A Course in Miracles in a certain way. I hope you choose from your own soul, which is perhaps not separate from the other souls, but can seem to be. It's like a paradox. I hope you think critically and follow your heart and seek truth and use logic and reason and mental effort to foster the perfect happiness of Lesson 101. And it brings me joy to say that. You do not have to think like me. You do not have to interpret A Course in Miracles like me. There's a section in A Course in Miracles, I believe it's called The Test of Truth, and it says something to the effect of, if it brings you joy and happiness, perhaps you are on the path of finding true truth, authentic truth. But yes, heaven is here, heaven is now. So how does one overcome illusions? Simply, merely by letting reason, logic, reason, tell you that the illusions contradict reality. If we have faith in God, if you have faith in God, what is reality? I could elaborate more. There is an italicized part where I believe it talks about reality, one of the prayers. My reality is only spirit. I believe that is a quote from A Course in Miracles. My reality is only spirit. And there's more to it than that. But yes, A Course in Miracles, may it bring you joy, an inner and outer peace. And I'll leave it there. So, bless up, limitless peace. Yeah.